Hi, investors. Colin Tedards here, and obviously not in our normal setup. That is because I'm braving the weather and the rain out here in California. I'm traveling to multiple robotics startups to give you some of the best information and an edge in what I believe is going to be one of the best investing opportunities over the next couple of years. Now, I know you've heard me talk a lot about robotics. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, we were at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas and identified robotics as one of the biggest investing trends there is. And I realize some of you have brought this up, that there's already robot vacuum makers, there's robot lawnmowers, there's robot drink makers, there's automated surgery, which is amazing, and there's delivery drones as well. You also have major companies like Amazon and Walmart in particular. They're already using robotics in a major way every single day, and it's only getting bigger. But I believe we're at the beginning of a brand new megatrend. And what is a megatrend? So you look back at the internet, okay? When the internet was being built out, kind of the early to mid to late 1990s, what did you need? You needed a bunch of routers, you needed modems, you needed fiber optic cable. And then when it came to websites, you actually needed standards, things like HTML, things like SSL security, databases, all of that needed to be developed before the internet really took off, really after the year 2000s. Also, you have something like Bitcoin, which has just been a fantastic investment over the past decade or so. What did you need for Bitcoin to be built out? You needed a bunch of decentralized computer systems to be built before Bitcoin could really become what it is today. You also, we're in the midst of an AI boom and an AI build out, AI megatrend, whatever you want to call it. What did you need for AI to be built out? You needed specific AI purpose-built servers using NVIDIA or AMD chips. That stuff is being built out and being manufactured as we speak. Robotics is actually before all that and is just in the beginning stages of a huge adoption cycle. And just like the internet, just like crypto and AI, there's going to be huge money to be made by investors that get in early. This was all backed up by a visit I had just a couple of days ago in San Francisco, where I visited an AI and robotics startup company. The founder, who has people on his team who have spent decades at Apple and Google, are working around the clock on a very exciting project in the robotic space. And we were talking, and I was giving him my thesis that I think robotics is going to be the next megatrend. And he agreed with me, and he made a very, very important point. He said, right now, every robotics startup has to build almost everything from the ground up. They have to reinvent everything from the actuators if you're building kind of robotic hands, or motors if you're trying to move legs or arms. You also have to build the software and the machine learning and the AI software. You have to build that all end to end from scratch. But he noted with the breakthrough large language models like ChatGPT, stuff that Google is working on, there's a lot of smaller open source large language models as well. A lot of that from scratch building, at least on the software side, doesn't have to be done because often robots are moving around, they're recognizing objects. A lot of that recognition work from a software perspective has already been done. Teams at the startup that I visited in San Francisco, you also have major companies like Tesla, are working on the actuators and the motors and all the different hard components and manufactured components that actually make a robot function. And so we're probably just 12 months away from a lot of the standards and building blocks, if you will, of the robotic industry being built. Because similar to if you were going to design a website and you were going to make a website, you are going to follow certain standards. You're going to write it in HTML code. There's going to be SSL security. You're going to follow HTTP protocol, and you're also going to make certain calls to a database if needed. None of that exists right now in the robotics industry, and that's why it is one of the most exciting and most fluid fields. Also, when you think about the robotics field, there really isn't an Apple or a Microsoft or a Google that is just in there right now dominating the space like enterprise software, electric vehicles, smartphones, or search engines. It's a wide open field. Reminds me so much of the internet in the early 90s, reminds me a lot of cryptocurrencies in the mid 2000s. It reminds me a lot of AI just over the past year or so. I am going to keep you updated on this exciting field because I think anyone who gets in early and makes the right investments is probably going to be set for life. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll be back again later this week. Good luck with your investments.